I'm Mark Callion, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of SaltwaterAquarium.com. I'll never forget the day I walked into my local fish store and saw my first saltwater fish. All the colors of the rainbows were right before my eyes, in all various shapes and sizes. And now the time has come for you to experience that same amazement as we need to pick fish for your budget bill tank. In this episode, I'll show you which fish are appropriate and where to get them. Before you purchase any fish, please watch the cycling the tank video, watch this video, and the next video in the series. You need to make sure that your tank is ready for the fish before you buy any fish. And putting fish in your saltwater tank isn't as simple as picking any fish that you see and plopping them into your system. Do your homework, watch these videos, and then buy your fish. All right, what fish are appropriate for the budget bill tank? Whenever I think about putting fish in a saltwater tank, I always start by answering these questions. Skill level of the person maintaining the tank. I don't want to put a delicate fish in the hands of a newbie. There's nothing wrong with being a newbie, and I want you to have success quickly, and the right fish helps with that. Dedication of the person maintaining the tank. How much time does this person have to dedicate to the tank? An hour a week? 5 hours a week? Will this person actually do the necessary tank maintenance? If the person is only halfway in the game, fish selection changes drastically. Budget. Some saltwater fish cost tens of thousands of dollars, and for the 20-gallon tank in the budget build, you don't have to shell out nearly that much cash. Let's narrow down the list of fish for the tank. First, no tangs. Tangs need a lot of swimming space, and no tang, no matter what the size, is appropriate for the 20-gallon budget build. I wouldn't even put a tang in a 40-gallon tank. Save the tangs for when you upgrade your tank. Sorry, Dory, you're out. Second, no aggressive fish. No lionfish, pufferfish, triggerfish, or eels. Not appropriate for this size tank or for beginners. Here's the good news. Clownfish, the most iconic fish in the saltwater tank hobby, is perfect for the budget bill tank. I recommend a pair of them, and here's a fun factoid. In a mated pair of clownfish, the female is the larger fish. Mr. Man, he's a little guy. Clownfish are hardy fish that are easy keepers, and most clownfish are perfect for the budget bill tank. I say most, as there are a couple of clownfish you want to avoid for your budget tank. The clownfish to avoid are maroon clownfish. Not only can this type of clownfish get aggressive, they can get quite large, too large for the budget tank. Clownfish come in a variety of colors and patterns, from the common to the flashy designer clowns. Remember how I said I would show you different versions of the budget bill tank? Well, the starter tank has a pair of Ocellaris captive bred clownfish. These are the standard variety clownfish, and while they are common, you still hear Nemo at least 100 times while you own the tank. The next version of the budget bill tank has a pair of black Ocellaris clownfish. Your friends won't expect to see a black pair of clowns, so expect lots of compliments. The last version of the budget bill tank has a pair of designer clownfish. These are frostbite clownfish from LiveAquaria's Diver's Den. These guys are known for their extreme color patterns. You could have a single pair of clownfish in your saltwater tank and still have a nice tank. And given my experience with building lots of tanks for clients over the years, you're going to want more fish. Therefore, here are more fish that are appropriate for the budget size build. Dottybacks. Some dottybacks can be aggressive, so I've chosen the orca dottyback for you. I love the bright purple color of this fish, and they have unique personalities in that when you first put them in your tank, they'll be timid and they'll hide a lot amongst the rocks. Once they get used to their surroundings and your routine, they'll venture out a lot more. Another reason I like the orca dottyback is that it's a skillful swimmer and can stop and hover in the water column by just moving its pectoral fins. This is a great beginner fish and a great fish for the budget build. A pair of Bengai cardinal fish. The black and white colors provide a nice contrast for your tank. These guys spend most of their time in one spot, and here's something cool about them. Their big eyes mean that they can see well in the dark, so don't be surprised if your cardinals are more active at night. Cardinal fish are also easy keepers and are a great community fish as they keep to themselves. A yellow watchman goby. While other fish spend their time swimming in the water column, these guys spend most of their time on the rocks or on the sand bed perched on their cone-shaped ventral fin. Plus, with their downturned mouth, they have an appearance of being grumpy. There's a great mix of fish for the budget size build. And beyond what I've already told you about these fish, there's something else about these fish that makes them special. All the fish I've shown you are available as captive bred specimens. Captive bred meaning they are produced by fish in captivity and they live their whole life in captivity. Why does that matter for you and your tank? Saltwater aquarium experts agree that captive bred fish tend to be hardier and better suited for life in an aquarium. That means greater potential of success for you and your tank, and that's what I want for you and your tank. So at some point you may get to this level, but before you do, you need to have success at the level of where you are now. Captive bred fish can help you have success faster and enjoy the hobby more. Now that you know which fish are appropriate and why they're appropriate for your tank, the next question is, where do you get these fish? You've got a couple options. Option 1, your buddy's fish that he or she will give to you. A double-edged sword on this one, as the fish could be sick or aggressive or not appropriate for your tank. You're new to this game, so thank your friend for their kindness and leave the fish in their tank. Option 2, your local fish store. Hopefully you have one nearby, and hopefully they have what you're looking for. With a local fish store, you'll have a chance to see the fish before you buy, which I'll talk about in a future episode. Option 3, the internet. You can buy fish online and have them shipped to your door. Note that when packed properly, fish ship quite well. When you purchase fish online, most of the time you can't see what you're buying. Now, I said most of the time because there is an online retailer that shows you the exact fish that you're buying. This is called What You See Is What You Get, or WYSIWYG. The online retailer that offers WYSIWYG fish is LiveAquaria's Diver's Den. LiveAquaria's Diver's Den is packed with all kinds of saltwater and even freshwater fish. You'll see the exact fish that you're purchasing, and you can get daily emails letting you know what's coming available that day on the Diver's Den. All the fish for the budget series tanks came from the Diver's Den, and they were the first people I called when I needed fish for these tanks. Why did I call them first? In addition to the fact that all the Diver's Den fish are WYSIWYG, they're also pre-conditioned and pre-quarantined. Now, what does that mean? That means the team at LiveAquaria's Diver's Den have kept the fish for several weeks to get them ready for placement into your tank. These fish are eating the food that you're going to feed, and they've gone through steps to help prevent them from carrying any diseases. In other words, these fish have the best fin forward for thriving in your tank. Some of the fish you see in the tank behind me are from Diver's Den, and I trust my client's tank to the Diver's Den as well, which is why I told you about them in this video. No matter if you buy your fish at a local fish store or the Diver's Den, I strongly recommend you quarantine your fish. By quarantining your fish, you're doing a couple of important things. First, you're getting a chance to catch any diseases that may be on the fish. Not every fish sold at a local fish store or online has a disease, and if it does have a disease, you want to catch the disease before it gets into your tank. By quarantining your fish, you're going to observe the fish for several weeks to see if it has any diseases. If a disease pops up, you can treat the fish before it goes into your tank. Second, you're getting the fish used to the fish food that you feed and your routines. Imagine being dropped off on a busy street corner in a foreign country. You're hungry, and all around you is this strange-looking food. Plus, there are all these new people crowding in all around you. Amongst all the chaos, you have to figure out if you want to eat the strange-looking food and if all these people are friends or foes. The same thing can happen if you take a fish that hasn't been quarantined and conditioned and place it straight into your display tank. The food that you offer your fish may be a food that the new arrival has never seen, therefore the new arrival isn't going to eat it for a couple days. Add on the fact that all the fish in your tank can chase the new guy around because they're wanting to get to know their new tank mates. Combining these factors can lead to a fish that feels stressed, not eat, and then potentially get sick. When you quarantine your fish, you put the fish in its own tank by itself so there aren't any fish competing for its food. Also, by being alone, you can work with the fish directly without competition from anyone else. Quarantining fish requires a separate tank from your main tank. The quarantine tank needs its own filtration and lighting, and these items can't be borrowed from your main tank. The point of a quarantine system is to have everything separate so that it's a true quarantine tank. Quarantining fish is important, and I fully realize some of you watching this video aren't going to do it. You're simply not willing to take the time and the expense of setting up and maintaining a quarantine tank. If that's you, the best thing that you can do for your tank and yourself is to buy your fish from LiveAquaria's Diver's Den. All the Diver's Den fish have gone through some amount of quarantine and conditioning before they're even offered for sale. Look, I have clients who don't quarantine, and when they tell me they're not going to quarantine, I tell them two things. Number one, you should quarantine, and number two, if you're not going to do it, buy your fish from LiveAquaria's Diver's Den. Now that you know which fish are appropriate for your tank, and you know how to cycle your tank, you watched the cycling tank video, didn't you? It's time to go buy some fish. Here's the thing. Right now, take it slow. just start your tank with that pair of clownfish that I showed you. When your tank is new and when it's cycling, you want to be extra diligent, so go slow and just go with a pair of clowns for now. In the next episode, I'll show you how to acclimate fish to your tank, because it's not as simple as buying the fish and plopping them into your tank. I'm Mark Callie, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of SaltwaterAquarium.com. I'll catch you in the next episode.